everyone. This is Michael W. Ford. Thank you for checking out today's video. Today, I'm going to discuss a kind of a basic aspect in Luciferian witchcraft or magic, the practice of magic, along with some of the esoteric elements of ritual magic, ceremonial sorcery, and symbolism, and how specifically the elements are understood and applied in Luciferian magic from a Luciferian perspective. So let's first understand that in the basic philosophy of Luciferianism, this is a self-internalized beginning foundation, as I've mentioned, with the triad of the morning star, the 11 points of power, the philosophy basis, where a Luciferian could be an atheist or a polytheistic practitioner. I personally am a deeply spiritual person. I've practiced magic, witchcraft, and enhanced and experienced the Luciferian path for well over 20 something years now. However, when I'm face to face or in public, or talking to someone who is not into, paranormal or magical concepts, no matter what, I don't discuss it. I am very pragmatic and based around really the philosophy, cause and effect. It's really a basic essence of what we do daily. However, even though people don't understand this unless you really study it, Luciferian magic begins with thought. It begins with your imagination and then your determination. One of my forthcoming books, which will be published, if not the end of this year or next, is one on the jinn. And one of the elements that's always fueled my initiatory work with Luciferianism is the fire spirit, smokeless fire, and the ability to apply and understand symbolism and how it works on a subconscious level. Let's start with the elements to avoid going into confusing areas, because there are areas where things cross over in the symbolism and the magical workings, depending on the specific type of working, the spirit, etc. But let's keep it to the basic elements, starting with the element air. Now, one aspect in Luciferian magic are the concepts. Some call them archetypes. I call them deific mask, because depending on your internal subjective experience, it could be a conscious spirit interacting, guiding, more or less coming into manifestation. But it all starts in the imagination. The imagination creates and sets in motion before something is created. This is a concept I'm going to expand upon in the future. However, imagination is the direct kind of channel or outlet, or better yet, something to organize and understand and focus our drives, our instincts, our creativity, our passions, our emotions, and sending them forth into a creative willed experience in the real world we live in. Imagination creates all the things we love, including the things we don't love, the creative and destructive. So understand that will, desire, belief are a formula. It's a formula of application beginning with yourself. And then that energy builds and is focused towards what you wish to manifest. Now, the concept of the element air. So air is a very important element because it relates to spirit. It relates to also the fluid motion of being liberated from flesh. If we look here at this incense burner of Baphomet, one of my favorites, if you notice smoke in incense, it has many uses. It's been used for thousands of years to offer and honor and assist in calling specific deities, demons, spirits, angels. It's a way of saying, I honor you, I respect you, and I'm compelling my imagination, my force of spirit to manifest. Focusing on incense smoke in specific ceremonial rituals, you can allow your imagination to witness the mutation and the momentary shapings of demonic spirits or whatever you identify it with. These have a direct relation on your force of will, which you compel and unlock the specific type of energy, power, or knowledge it represents. Incense, depending on what type you use, is the primary, what people would call sacrifice. There's no sacrifice in the sense of hurting something in Satanism or Luciferianism. There's just not. We don't practice the old archaic pre-Christian and Christian era practices of killing an animal to honor a deity. That's we don't do that. We love animals, respect those life forms. The one thing we do is the offering of fumigation of incense. It goes all the way back to ancient Greece, Mesopotamia, Egypt, etc. So the element air is associated with the kind of motto of to know, to be aware. And it's related to the wand. Now the wand, the magic wand, goes all the way back to ancient Greece with Hermes Kathanos, who is the psychopomp who would guide souls who have died on earth into the underworld, into their next spiritual kind of transformation. Mesopotamia as well, ancient Egypt, wands are commands of the element of spirit and imagination, and transformative, theriomorphic, shape-changing perspectives that can also relate to the way you dress, the way you interact with different types of people. The wand is very important in the symbolism of air. Air is related to Satan, who is in the book of Revelations, Zeus, Baal, Beelzebub, deity of storms and divination and air. Prince of the powers of air is the ruling power of igniting spirit, of inspiring, of suggesting, of entering the subconscious and igniting, nudging someone towards a certain type of thing. We see it in the media with the practice of using narratives to control and shape thoughts and stir emotions from people who are locked into that. It's the same type of thing. In magic, you're doing that within your creative aspect of your daily life, your internal spirituality, your goal attainment, and also your environment as how you wish it to manifest. Another wand, and this one a demonic spirit wand that we've carried at the Luciferian Apotheosis, is useful. You can use any type of wand that inspires you. It doesn't have to be, it can be something organic that you create, that you fashion from a limb. I have a finger bone, human bone wand with a crystal in the end that I use in specific black magical workings, necromantic ones, and a claw of a blackbird that was dead that I've utilized also, all relating to air. So we have Lucifer Ashtar relating to the planet Venus. We have many of the fallen angels, the Watchers, Ezekiel, Berekriel, the Udug-Hul Mesopotamian demons relating to shape-changing and ever-flowing storm spirits. Lilith, the Lilith demons, storm demons, or the Parakas of ancient Iran. So the element of air relates also to works and the attainment and experience of knowledge. And that's knowing balance, creation, destruction, good, evil, all those things. So understand that air is very important in a spiritual sense and is the basis of Luciferian works, especially with the cult of angels or watchers. Next, we have the element of fire, and this relates to the work or command of will. That is your force of determination to conquer, strive, or attain your plans in life. Self-transformation, overcoming weaknesses, changing specific traits or beliefs or thoughts that you have. Also being steadfast and resolute towards your goals, no matter how difficult it gets. Fire represents to will. To will is very important as for an initiate, because you are transforming, or in liberation, illumination, apotheosis, slowly becoming to think and be as a fallen angel, one of the cult of the Watchers of Azazel. Now, speaking of Azazel, fire is the element relating to the black flame. We have symbolic, and then we have various aspects of fire. Fire can be destructive. We use the symbolism of the forge of Azazel or Cain, relating to our initiatory work that can be very difficult and very intense in its in that we're shaping and forging ourselves to be better, stronger, living embodiments of the Luciferian Spirit. Fire is associated with the athame. The athame, or sword, is a conquering, it's a tool of compelling, of commanding, of slaying, of conquering, of setting forth and uttering your word, your desire to become. Relates to fire because Azazel in the Cult of Watchers, in my book Fallen Angels, Azazel has many different levels of manifestation, manifests and appears differently in different aspects. A very transformative and shape-changing spiritual power. Azazel, relating to the Forge, was the Watcher, the fallen angel, who instructed humanity on how to create swords, daggers, armor, breastplates, shields, weapons, just like Gadriel, the fallen angel, instructed within the planetary authority of Mars in smiting your enemies, of conquering. And for Azazel, it's a destructive fire, but it's also the gift that was bestowed on us, as like with the serpent, awakening us with the gift of the black flame to know what people consider good and evil, right and wrong, our own moral compasses, to be consciously aware that we, in a singular sense, have either vast amounts of potential or are so self-destructive or stagnant and unaware that we can never break from that. But Luciferians who are attracted to the philosophy, like with the 11 points of power, understand that they're already within that sphere of thinking. They're already of a satanic or Luciferian spirit. So applying and striving towards initiation, learning and applying and practicing magic, either on a super rational level of in your mind of thought of see it and do it, or the spirituality which relates and directs that energy over to bring forth more or less apotheosis within yourself over time. Fire is also the element of, with smokeless fire, the black flame of Iblis or Shaitan, and the most powerful of jinn, who are beyond human flesh, but guide and inspire via our imaginations. We also have the planetary association of the sun with Shamshiel or Shamash. We have Asmodeus or Aishma, Akephalos, which is the headless god, or as from Demons of Solomon, a catalyst for the holy guardian angel or one's unique personal daemon. It's the flame of Hades that is the place in which we shape our tools to go forth in the world. It also, with fire, relates also to an aspect of spirit and Baphomet, which I won't get into, as you can see here with the 5 candles, or it can be a single candle representing the black flame, our directional exaltation of Luciferian spirit. So with that said, fire is an element that can be destructive or something used in a creative sense. In a spiritual sense, it is the torch that is between the horns of the Sabbatic goat or Baphomet, a model of who we are, potentially. The torch of intellect, of self-awareness, and the ability to overpower and command your will in this life while you live. The element of water. Water is, more than any other element, associated with our evolutionary or primal origins, from the ancient darkness of the abyss of chaos of the creation, which arose firstly in all the mythologies, religious mythologies, and even in what we know about evolution of our species. We emerged from the element of water, from a primal abyssic water. It's associated with Tiamat, and it is a gateway into the internal subconscious abyss and the darkness beyond ourselves. The chalice, or phial, which is the offering bowl, which I don't have right now here. The chalice is the tool of the element of water. It's pouring the libation in honor of a deific mask or a daemon or spirit or an ancestor. Water relates to works of to dare, and that is, you have all the elements of emotions and passions driven by the other aspects of what we are. Water relates to the flow of serenity, of continual renewal. Water is also in Slavic and other pagan Eastern European mythologies associated with vampires. Vampirism is associated with water, and I'm not going to get into how that plays out or how that's approached in magical sense. That's explored in Sekama and Akaru, but water is what we use to purify ourselves, to cleanse ourselves, to renew and sustain ourselves. And it, much like the flow of time, strives to move. If not, it grows stagnant. It can be associated with the depths of our subconscious, our dreams to some extent, and also the beginning with the imagination, the transformation from into an unknown journey of our subconscious into the abyss. Thus, you have the Ouroboros serpent, Leviathan, which is the primordial power which ignites self-creation and renewal. Now, water and rains, in that sense, can be destructive, as with hurricanes, floods. It can wash away and destroy life, but it also sustains and brings renewal and regeneration. Understanding some qualities associated or traits, emotions that come into play with water. We have dreams, we have the ability to have empathy, in many ways like intuitive or psychic or spiritual connections, sexuality, along with the element of fire. Death relates to the West Paimon, Ea, Enki, the Babylonian god of magic, and the 7 Anunnaki, or Watchers, who emerged from the abyssic waters to instruct man in ancient Sumerian and Babylonian lore. Water, in all those senses, is a very essential and primal aspect connecting us to the dragon, the serpent, the abyssic aspect of who we intend to be and our origin. Of Earth. And Earth is associated with the motto to keep silent. Like we have the witch's pyramid, to know, to will, or to dare, to keep silent. Earth is associated with the cardinal direction of north and is related to Belial or Beliar from an ancient, and there are several different Hebrew variant spellings and etymological origins of Belial, meaning without a master, but also it's of 2 root words that means Lord of the Forest. And the wild was always the abode of demonic spirits, forces, who motivated, preyed upon, and assisted humanity, inspired us. And you have with Belial also Maazel, relating to the devourer, and a Maimon, who is a powerful, one of the 7 jinn kings, but is also a major king in other Goetic and demonic traditions. You have also relating to the element, and this goes into ceremonial or ritual magic, especially with Goetic theurgy, or evoking daemons or demonic spirits, is the pinnacle. Now, the pinnacle, here's an example. This can be a metal or wood or ceramic item on your altar if you choose. It can also be utilized as a cloth or something on your altar. And the pinnacle, in all senses, relates to, especially if you have the infernal union of Samael and Lilith, in union begets Baphomet. This is a continual awareness of the symbol of Baphomet as being the combination of all the elements in a certain type of black alchemy to beget Apotheosis. It's like the triad of the morning star. Baphomet is indeed the elements begotten to balance all of the elements. It's a symbol of the Satanist and Luciferian, the individual who's in a living, striving to be a living embodiment, who thinks and is much like the Watchers, or inherent of the Luciferian Spirit. To be silent represents to the stillness and sustaining aspects of Earth. And what I mean by that is you have also Earth and the concept of the underworld. Hades and the underworld, or Tartarus or Hell, especially in ancient Greek mytho-magical and religious understanding, Hades or Pluto is the keeper of hidden wealth. The elements in the earth, the precious stones, the metals that are mined, treasures that are hidden. Beyond that symbolism, what are you gaining from the underworld in terms of wealth and treasure? Well, it's insight, experience, wisdom, the mastery over a particular method of manifesting and commanding your Luciferian will in your life. It's related to a dying and being reborn aspect, and earthly mastery within the concept of Beliar or Belial, especially in the period of imperial Rome with Nero, who was identified as Armilus or the Antichrist. Belial uses rational and all the cosmic cause and effect elements to master the earth. It's also respecting nature, honoring life forms that aren't human. In fact, for me, animals are immensely more important, primarily, overall, than people. So that's a very important thing to understand in the concept of magic. Now, witchcraft with the earth relates to being in connectivity and in connection, in intuitive awareness of the subtleties in nature, of cycles of such as the seasons, of dying, of being reborn, of something being destroyed, something created, of the pulse, if you will, of the forests, of birds, of reptiles, primal instinct, but also cunning mastery. All of these elements, it's matter incarnate, practicality, stability, endurance, sensuality. But then it can also be one which, depending on our choices, can impede our spiritual initiation, our journey itself. So it's about using all those elements to create a type of alchemical change internally with liberation, illumination, and apotheosis. If you can get to understand with your magical tools, or just by thinking upon and learning about it, the elements are a great way to measure if you understand the symbolism and the connection that symbolism has to our subconscious and conscious minds. Once you can understand that and begin to experience it with the methodology of philosophical application in, thoughts, words, and actions, the control and manifestation of directing energy becomes a spiritually impactful experience, which goes beyond religion and brings a level of affirmation in that there is a spiritual aspect to all of us, or that you are reliant and able to command your course in life. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope I haven't drug on too long. I have several in the works. Also a book announcement for, and I'll just say it here, Hecate and the Black Arts, Subfigura Liber Necromancia, coming to be published within the month. So, and many more things forthcoming. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, spread this video, and send me ideas that you have, topics you want me to discuss in the comment section.